As you all know, the world's most qualified astronauts in human history recently made a trip up to space in a Blue Origin rocket to do very important scientific research to further humanity.
Experian line that goes like this: the woman doth protest too much. Gail King is somebody who allegedly went to space this week. She's an astronaut. No, she's not. We're going to cover that in just a second. But Gail King was on TV right after her little space trip.
I want to speak to you about something really amusing. The online conspiracy theories that have spread about pop star Katy Perry and her all-female Blue Origin space journey. So we've long had fake moon landing conspiracy theorists, but now people are saying that even this was fake.
A group of celebrities go to space in a rocket shaped like a giant, and well, you've seen the memes, the media calls it historic. The capsule drops, everyone claps, and we're told this was a breakthrough all-female space mission. But hold up, it wasn't space, they're not astronauts, and this whole thing, it looks faker than a Netflix sci-fi special with a $12 budget. The re-entry capsule is spotless, the door opens inward, and the only thing these women piloted was a photo op. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the most expensive selfie shoot in human history, and why the Blue Origin spaceflight might just be one of the most overhyped PR stunts we've ever seen.
Who were being lucky enough to go into space for a few minutes.
Got it? 1, 2, 3, take it!
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Alex Stein. I am here tonight because we're in Grapevine. All I'm seeing is a bunch of bimbos in space.
We're on training today. We're going to learn everything that you need to know to fly a nominal mission to space.
You're beginning the simulation at T+2 minutes.
Let's start with the rocket, and I'm using that word very generously because what Blue Origin launched into the sky wasn't just a rocket, it was a Freudian fever dream, a flying monument to Jeff Bezos' ego shaped like, well, a dick, and no one thought to maybe redesign it. So picture this, a capsule full of celebrities, Gail King, Katy Perry, a Kardashian or two, all loaded into this airborne Viagra ad ready to break barriers for about 180 seconds. That's it, 3 minutes of weightlessness. More time is spent waiting in line at Starbucks than these women spent in space. But somehow this was marketed as a groundbreaking, empowering female space mission. A historic achievement. Really, what exactly was achieved here, aside from proving that billionaires will pay any amount of money to LARP as astronaut? No piloting, no scientific experiments, no exploration. Just a quick ride up, a couple selfies, and a soft landing in the desert. So congratulations, Blue Origin. You turned space travel into a glorified theme park attraction and somehow convinced the media to treat it like the moon landing.
Allegedly went to space this week. She's an astronaut. No, she's not. We're going to cover that in just a second. But Gail King was on TV right after her little space trip.
Frivolous. Number one, they call it a ride, which I find very irritating because they never say men went for a ride.
I have to stop. Men flew your dick rocket. You flew up into space in a little dick rocket. You weren't piloting anything. You weren't providing any service to the actual craft itself.
So Gail King hops off the rocket, ride. Oh, and heads straight to the press tour. She's glowing, she's empowered, she's ready to educate the peasants about how powerful and life-changing her 3-minute sky hop was. But here's the kicker. The FAA, that's the Federal Aviation Administration, the people who actually define astronaut status, says she's not one. None of them are. Why? Because you have to actually do something. You don't get astronaut wings for floating around like you're in a zero-G spa day. You don't become a space explorer by taking selfies and waving at the capsule wall. This wasn't Apollo 11, it was a glorified GoPro ad sponsored by Amazon. According to FAA rules, a real astronaut has to contribute to human spaceflight safety or perform essential functions during the mission. These women, they didn't pilot, monitor, repair, or assist with anything. The capsule was fully autonomous, flown from the ground, so calling this a mission is like sitting in an Uber and bragging you drove the car. No, you just paid for the ride. Sorry, Gail, you're not a pioneer, you're a passenger on a PR rocket.
This is something that the internet is asking. You see there, clean as a whistle, that pod. And this is what a pod looks like when it's, well, returned from space. Right here. Here's the Dragon X capsule. Here's a good example. This, the reason why there's so many photos of it is because they just saved a bunch of astronauts who were stuck in space.
Here's a fun fact about space. Coming back from it is brutal. Real spacecraft don't glide back to Earth looking like they just left a detailing shop. They come back looking like they fought a dragon, scorched, charred, and blackened. Like a marshmallow left in the campfire a little too long. But the Blue Origin capsule, clean as a whistle. No burn marks, no singed metal, not even a little soot smudge for show. It looks like it got dropped off at the dry cleaners, not dropped through the stratosphere. Compare that to SpaceX's Dragon capsule, a real spacecraft. That thing re-enters with fire licking the heat shield and hits the ground looking like it just barely survived the apocalypse. Why? Because it actually went to space. Now let's do some basic logic. If you're re-entering Earth's atmosphere at Mach 3 or higher, you're gonna see serious heat. We're talking 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what the human body is not built to handle, hence the heavy-duty spacecraft design. But this thing, the Blue Origin pod, it came back looking like a prop from a sci-fi set, untouched by fire, friction, physics, you name it. So did they actually go to space, or did they just do a high altitude bounce, parachute back down, and call it a mission? Because from what we're seeing, this wasn't space travel. It was a very expensive elevator ride. Up and down, no atmosphere breached, no re-entry survived. And the media, too busy celebrating the capsule's flawless foundation, finished to ask even a single question.
At a little clip here where you see after the capsule has landed back on Earth, the door seems to open from the inside. It's not supposed to be able to do that. And then a few minutes later, Jeff Bezos comes running along and opens it from the outside. And this has got the world of conspiracy theorists and I guess a lot of people laughing their socks off. But have a quick look.
What's going to come out of her mouth, but really her heart?
Is that Jeff Bezos out there?
It all looks like an episode out of Seinfeld.
Okay, this is where it just goes off the rails. So the capsule touches down, everyone's cheering, and suddenly the door opens from the inside inward by the passengers. I'm sorry, what? Since when can you just open the door of a spacecraft like it's your cousin's minivan? You're telling me this pressurized, sealed, high-tech space capsule, the same one that allegedly broke the Kármán line, has a swing open handle like a bathroom at IKEA? That's not just weird, that's dangerous. NASA doesn't do that. SpaceX doesn't do that. Real spacecraft require teams of engineers and external mechanisms to open hatches safely, after pressure equalization, heat cool down, and multiple security checks. But this crew, they were about to pop it open like a Tupperware lid before one of Bezos's handlers ran over and yelled, "No, no, no, don't open it yet." And then, get this, Jeff Bezos strolls over with what looks like a fake prop tool, spins it around a few times like he's pretending to be useful, and officially opens the door. Why? Because they clearly weren't supposed to be touching it, because this was never about real procedure. It was about a clean media moment. The internet saw it instantly. The jokes relentless, the conspiracy theories, let's just say they didn't get quieter after that clip, because when your spacecraft looks like a party balloon and your astronauts can accidentally open the hatch in the desert, people start asking questions.
Look at the moon. Oh my gosh. You see that?
Oh my gosh. I got you, Flynn.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the floating, because this is the moment the media ate up like it was the moon landing 2.0. You've got Gail King and her celebrity crew drifting weightlessly inside the capsule, hair floating, arms flailing, all smiles. And you're supposed to believe this is space, but here's the problem. You can fake that easily. NASA's been simulating weightlessness since the 1960s using parabolic flight, aka the vomit comet. Fly a plane really high, cut the engines, let it dive. For a few seconds, you're floating. Boom. 0G, no rocket needed. So here's the question, how do we know those 3 minutes of space weren't filmed inside one of those planes, or worse, a soundstage with CGI harnesses and a PR budget the size of Saturn? Let's be real. We've seen Hollywood do crazier things. If they can fake the Avengers in outer space, you think they can't stage Gail King doing somersaults in a capsule? The lighting too perfect, the shots too smooth, the whole thing suspiciously clean. The internet noticed, comment sections lit up with people calling it fake, staged, produced, and more Disney Plus than NASA. Because when the capsule doesn't burn on re-entry, when the door opens like a camping tent, and when the only footage is some B-roll of celebrities floating in silence for 3 minutes, yeah, you're gonna raise a few eyebrows, This wasn't exploration. This was influencer cosplay with a $1 billion backdrop. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was all real. Maybe gravity took the day off and pressurized doors just magically open inward now. You tell me, was this real spaceflight or the most expensive cosplay event ever launched into the stratosphere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next time I go on a rant. This is the Fame Feed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.